92.7 Business with Michael Avery.
Time for the sustainability feature here on Hot Business with Gold Ore. Tomorrow's technology today. Just go to goldore.org to find out more. Now, I think how to go off-grid must be one of the most searched terms on Google this week, and load shedding really infuriating everyone at the moment. Analysts warning that Eskom's power fleet shows no sign of recovery and that it's likely to remain or even worsen over the short to medium term. So how can you take back control in your business and at home? We've invited Christiaan Hattingh, who's Managing Director for AWPower, that specialize in solar installations, just to talk to us about going off-grid and how we actually do this. Christiaan, welcome to the show.
Hi, Michael. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
And it's really the mindset we need to get into now, isn't it? We almost have to go through the stages of grief with anger and now acceptance. And we can swear at Eskom all we like, but we have to adapt in the short to medium term.
Absolutely. I mean, like we said, it's something that's here now, and we have to adapt. Otherwise, we have to face the consequences. But luckily, there is a solution.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And the good news is there are, I think, a wide range of solutions. So I think the difficulty here for some consumers might be on what kind of solution they need to choose. I'm lucky here in Parkview. We've got town gas and we've got a Generac backup generator. It was serviced this morning, and I've already put 190 hours on it this year. But, when you sit down and advise clients, battery backup or generator, what's important to consider?
Definitely. I mean, those two questions pop up. Some clients have existing infrastructure, a generator that's been gathering dust, in the past years that has now obviously been brought up, for service. And then, we always advise them, the first thing is that you need to use what you have. And if you don't have that, ability to use what you have, then the next step is to look at these options. And then, like I said, in the article, we talk about the difference between generators and battery backup, that you can then integrate with solar. A key thing just to note is that obviously with a generator, you've got a limited, period that you can run it, where with solar, if you spec it correctly, you have that ability to perpetually, run your system, and keep the lights on. So, we always advise our clients that, if you're now new to this and you have to, find a solution, we are here to help them, advise them on how to get this started. And particularly, I mean, not everybody's got that ability to go, to install the largest possible system that they can. You have to start off with what you have. And I mean, that's, I think, where we come in. We always advise our clients, to start off with something that could satisfy their immediate needs, and then importantly, have it as installed as a system that can be installed modular over time as the budget allows.
That's what I like. Yeah, I like the flexibility of being able to do things in a modular fashion. So I think battery backup systems allow you to do that, and you can run lighter load. So you can run your desktop, and if you're a small business, you can run your point of sale system, for example, and maybe your lighting, and then use your generators to back up some of those battery-based systems and those lighter power needs.
Exactly. And the clients always approach us saying that, I've seen it now this last week. We've seen so many people approach us saying that they, at this stage, they've got the budget to invest into a battery backup, but they want to include solar at a later stage. And as you'll also notice, some clients do have generators also, that's then act as a backup and could act as a backup for these systems. So typically what we would then advise is, let's get you started with a inverter and a lithium ion battery. And then, we always ask them, do you plan to, in the future invest in solar? That's a very important question, because you could get away, with a more budget solution if you don't want to include solar. Unfortunately, I think we are moving towards, the current trend. We need to look at solar. There's no way we're going to solve this problem. Yeah. Without it.
What are you looking at there? So obviously installing solar panels means you're doing your bit to ease the national demand for electricity. It's environmentally friendly. It's all of those things. And we know the price is coming down. But, if you were to look at a residential solution, let's say, to take a house off grid and install some kind of hybrid solar solution, what are you looking at?
So obviously the main components is that we commonly know and speak of is you've got your inverter, which is the heart of the story of the system, and then obviously the nice thing about a hybrid inverter solution is that you have that flexibility to, if you don't want to have a battery backup installed, you can start off with your inverter and your panels only and have the system run. We refer to it as a grid-tied system, where you then purely just generate electricity and save from what you use. But obviously that you don't have that ability to store that energy or then have battery backup when there's grid failure. That's the one way to approach it. The other way is, which is quite common at the moment, is people opt for just a hybrid inverter, and then a battery pack, that could range from starting with a 5 kilowatt hour, and you can then add in modular, 5 kilowatt hour battery banks, depending on obviously what brand you use, but you can add then on modular as required. But yeah, that then gives you that battery backup, and powering your essentials, typically, like you've mentioned, the lights, your Wi-Fi, TVs, security, even you can go as big as powering your kettle, for example, and all the necessities that people need during load shedding periods.
And when you installing a battery backup system and solar panels, I mean, what can you expect from that installation process?
Yeah, so the installation process from our side is, it is a big investment. People consider quite a lot of factors in it, and from our side, when we do spec a system, we always inform the client that this is what they're getting. We're very open to, from a design point of view, that they need to see what they're going to get. The return on investment, obviously, in a system like this, the easily quantifiable one is if you've got panels, that obviously generates electricity, and you can then save from that. That's, like I said, you can easily quantify that. But when quantifying your downtime when you're not able to work, that's a bit more difficult. So from our side, your question is, what does it involve? We would then normally just say, this is the system size based on their monthly bill. This is the type of loads that they want to power. This is the requirements. So we would then spec a system, inform them of the initial price, and then also an option 2 or option 3, an even larger system that could be even better. If the long-term plan is to use more power or become more self-sufficient, you have to plan for that. Obviously, smaller systems, cater for smaller requirements, but some, households have varying requirements. Some have low loads, others have air cons, pool pumps, geysers that they need to power. And that obviously, that whole process to get that designed and spec'd, we do for them, and involve the clients with that process to spec their system according to their budget.
And it's interesting to see, I know at the beginning of this year, Eskom was asking for those generating their own power through solar PV type solutions to pay for their use of the grid, saying that we users still are connected to the grid and in effect should be liable for some of those fixed costs. But I think Eskom can't have it both ways. Surely if they want that, then they should allow us to be able to sell excess power back into the grid.
Yeah, very valid point. I mean, that's it's something that comes up regularly, and from our side, we always try and advocate that process to be able to sell excess energy back to the grid. Their whole revenue model, how that works, that's we don't get involved with that. It's difficult for us to advocate, but we've seen. Take, for example, City of Cape Town municipality, regarded as the municipality in the country that's very forward thinking in terms of solar. Got a whole process outlined for clients that want to go the solar route. They advocate it, and they very much promote selling back to the grid. It's become at a point now where I think they've realized that for residential customers, every little bit helps. Initially, it was, frowned upon to have solar installed because it was taking revenue away from these municipalities selling electricity. But it's just come to a point where I think everyone sees and believes that together we can make this ease the load of Eskom and become self-sufficient in our own ways. And like you say, the key is to sell back electricity back to the grid, because there is so much. I mean, South Africa is a sunshine country. We can all benefit from solar. It's just a case of getting it out, rolling it out.
Yeah, and having the political will. It's an absolute no-brainer. Christiaan Hattingh, Managing Director for AWPower, with how to go off-grid with a hybrid solar solution in this week's sustainability feature here on Hot Business. With Gold Ore, as always, their revolutionary Mach reactor is disrupting the mining industry with the potential to reduce your carbon footprint added in. Find out more at goldore.org.
Hot 102.7 Business with Michael Avery.